video, we will explain the first steps you should take if you are a minor, i.e. under 18 years of age, who would like to request asylum in France. France has an obligation to protect you until you reach the age of a legal adult, 18 years old, even if you have not yet made a formal asylum request. Nevertheless, you still have the right to make a formal request for asylum. However, if you are not accompanied by a family member, it is recommended that you first request child protection services via l'aide sociale à l'enfance, called the ASE. It's child welfare services. You will have access to housing, social services, educational resources, etc. In order to decide whether to take you under its care, the Child Welfare Services ASE of your municipality must first interview you to determine that you are under 18 years old and that you are genuinely alone in France. You should tell your story starting from when you were last in your country of origin. If you have any kind of documented identification, those papers will be examined. Attention! Even if you have a family member in France, ASE can't refuse to protect you if this member of your family does not want to or cannot take you under his/her care. Where do you need to go for the interview? In certain administrative divisions, départements, you should go to the departmental council where the ASE is located. In other départements, outside organizations will conduct the interviews on the ASE's behalf. For these départements, you will find all their addresses on our website. Here's the link. While you await the decision on whether or not you will be protected, the ASE is required to provide accommodations, a place to sleep, for you. You should, within 2 or 3 days of your interview, go to the ASE Centre where you were interviewed to find out the results of your evaluation. If the ASE refuses to take responsibility for you, you can go directly to the juvenile court to order the ASE to take responsibility for you. Ask an organization to help you with this procedure. This procedure can take several months. You do not have to wait for the court's decision in order to make an asylum request. As a minor, you are not allowed to be housed in a center for asylum seekers called a CADA, nor are you allowed to have the asylum seekers allowance called ADA, which is the financial help. Only the ASE can find housing for unaccompanied minors. During your stay in France as a minor, you do not have to have a residency permit, and you cannot be forced to return to your country of origin. However, you should respect French law, and most notably that school is obligatory until the age of 16, and it is illegal to work if you are under 16 years old and when you are an asylum seeker. To apply for asylum in France, you should first register at the Préfecture, administrative center, in your area of residence. As a minor, you cannot take part in any judicial or administrative steps without having legal representation with you. If you do not have a legal representative, officials at the Préfecture will inform the public prosecutor so that an ad hoc guardian is assigned to you. He/she will accompany you in all administrative steps, and most importantly, in putting together your file to request asylum in France. If you benefit from official guardianship of the French state as decreed by a judge, this will fall under the auspices of the ASE of the municipality in which you reside, and this person will accompany you throughout the entire process. You have 21 days to submit your file to OFPRA, which is the French Office for the Protection of Refugees and Stateless Persons. All your forms will be completed in French, signed by your legal representative, and sent by registered post with acknowledgement of receipt to OFPRA, or given directly to the reception desk at OFPRA's local office. This file should contain 2 standard identity photographs, ID photos, your original passport if you have one, and all your original documents that could be helpful in your request for asylum, such as civil birth certificates, medical documents, etc. To learn how to complete your OFPRA file, please watch this video here, how to fill out the OFPRA dossier. You should send OFPRA an address at which you can receive all communications regarding your asylum application. It is known as a domiciliation. Normally, if you do not have one, it is up to OFIE, the French Office for Immigration and Integration, to provide you with this legal address. If OFIE does not provide you with any options when you receive your OFPRA file, you should contact an association as quickly as possible. If your file is complete, OFPRA will register your asylum request, and a letter confirming your registration will be sent to you. This letter is very important. It confirms that your request for asylum has been registered by OFPRA, and it contains your file number. You must absolutely hold on to this document. If you sent your file to OFPRA without having legal representation, it is up to OFPRA to let a judge know in order for him/her to assign you an ad hoc guardian. While waiting, your file will not be processed because OFPRA cannot proceed if an unaccompanied minor asylum seeker does not have a legal representative. Next, you will normally have an OFPRA interview. For information about what the interview process is like, please watch the following video. Here's the link, and it's called "What is the OFPRA interview process like?" One copy of OFPRA's decision will be sent to your legal representative and one to you. There are 3 options. 1, that OFPRA grants you refugee status. 2, that OFPRA grants you subsidiary protection. Or 3, that OFPRA rejects your request for asylum. If OFPRA rejects your request, you have the right to challenge this decision by appealing to the Cour nationale du droit d'asile, called the CNDA, the National Court for Right to Asylum, via an intermediary through your ad hoc guardian if you are still a minor, i.e. under the age of 18. For more information on the steps to follow to appeal the court's decision before the CNDA, you can watch the following video, How to Appeal OFPRA's Decision, What is the CNDA? Here. Once you are 16 years old, if you benefit from some kind of protection, refugee status or subsidiary protection, the préfecture can grant you une carte de résident, a residency card, valid for 10 years and renewable if you are a refugee, une carte de séjour, a residency permit valid for 4 years, renewable if you have been granted subsidiary protection. As a beneficiary of OFPRA's protection, whether as a refugee or as a beneficiary of subsidiary protection, you will have access to education, which is obligatory in France until the age of 16, health insurance, and certain social security benefits. You can also work if you are over 16 years old. You have the right to request French citizenship, which will be granted if you meet certain criteria. To bring your family into France once you have been granted some kind of protection, please watch the video, What are my family's rights if I am a refugee? Here. Until next time.